In the low, humid forests of Asterra, as the last light of dusk fades, the jungle wakes to a rhythm far older than any human story. A thin veil of mist rises over the swamp, and through that silver haze, a long, coiled body begins to move. This is Seviper, the silent hunter, sliding through mud and roots like a living shadow, soaked in venom. With every flick of its forked tongue, it sends a question into the darkness. Where is the prey? And who dares enter its domain? Higher up, on a cold, slick rock, above the marsh, another shape appears. White fur, slashed with red markings like scars that never healed. This is Zangoose, born with an ancestral hatred for every Seviper that slithers beneath these trees. Its long claws bite into stone, carving fresh grooves over faded ones. This is not just a territorial mark, it is a challenge, repeated across generations. Below, Seviper tightens its muscles and explodes into motion, a sudden strike at some nameless wild rodent just beyond our view. There is a sharp rustle, a brief squeal, and then silence. For Seviper, death is simply the price of dinner. But that movement does not escape the eyes watching from above. Zangoose lifts its head, the fur along its spine rising. The scent of venom, the scent of an enemy seeps into its breath. When the two predators step into the same muddy clearing, the forest seems to hold its breath. Rain begins to fall, soaking fur and scales, turning the ground beneath them into a slick battlefield. There are no roars for show, no dramatic displays. Only red, burning eyes, a low, coiled hiss, a growl pressed deep into the throat. No one has to teach them what to do. Their hatred is written into their blood. The first attack comes so fast it almost escaped the eye. Claws tear through the air, ripping away a strip of dark scales. Seviper's tail blade answers, sharp enough to split the very rock where Zangoose stood a heartbeat before. Mud explodes upward. White fur and purple scales fall together, sinking into cloudy rainwater. Each strike, each counter, could be the final one, but instinct keeps them alive a fraction longer. Dodge, counter, step back half a pace, throw themselves forward again. Eventually, muscles begin to burn. Pain starts to sting sharper than anger. Amid the pounding rain, it is Seviper who looks away first. It slowly backs toward the thick brush, body still coiled tight enough to kill, but choosing to leave the killing for another night. Zangoose stands in the mud, chest heaving, claws still raised, until its rival's shadow disappears into the wall of leaves. When it finally turns toward the higher, drier ground, there is no triumph in its posture, only the hard awareness that the enemy still lives. On the ground, the story of the fight remains, written in things that cannot speak. Cracked stone, deep claw marks, loose strands of white fur and torn dark scales mixed into the trampled mud. The forest slowly pulls its sounds back together. Insects, night birds, and the softer patter of rain on water. But in the quiet heartbeat of Asterra, the feud between Seviper and Zangoose continues, a promise that tonight's clash is only a small chapter in their endless war.